You said to me, Joe, before we started recording today, there is a golf club I need to tell people about. And it was some sort of like, I have to get it out of my system. What is that club and why?
I had to get it in my best drivers video. I was filming best drivers for 2025, and then this came in late, and I had to sort of shoehorn it in because the specs are so radically different to everything else I would test. But I just think this could be almost a new category within itself. So it's the club I'm talking about is the PXG Wildcat driver. Now it's part of a package set, if you like. And when I say package set, I say that loosely because this is like the most expensive package.
It's got bad connotations, the word package set, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just sounds it sounds a bit cheap and nasty, doesn't it? But it's like, I think the full set is the best part of $1,200, $1,300.
$1,499.
Okay, there you go, $1,500. Okay, so that would make more sense because it is. I've said in the review, particularly the Wildcat driver, and actually the rest of the products, even the putter in particular, they could all sit in line and compete with the inline products that PXG have in their own particular fields. But the driver is just intriguing to me. It was terrible for me because I'm a high-speed player. However, I think the market's been crying out for this. Funny enough, Rick Shields, I saw him talking about this a little while ago, around a super high lofted driver in almost a driver spec. And this is what we've got here. So basically it's a 44-inch driver. So standard retail drive will be anything between 45 would be short now. So 45.25 and 45.5 will be about where most of the manufacturer's standard drivers are. This is 44. So a good inch and a bit shorter, potentially inch and a half shorter.
Is that shorter than my PXG secret weapon?
Similar. Yeah. Very, very similar. Okay. It comes in at C6 swing weight as well. This, so quite low on swing weight, very light components, slightly light head, slightly light shaft. And the whole thing is C6 as opposed to like a D2, D3 kind of swing weight.
Well, that's closer to the head.
Correct. So balance point's a little bit higher, just allows that head to get out in front of you. For somebody who can't release it and might slice the ball. Generally speaking, very generally speaking, some lighter swing weights can help that. And it's just easier to move, particularly if you're someone who's of a slower, more moderate swing speed or starting the game out. You don't want stuff that's too difficult. It's very easy to swing. But the main part about it is you've got this, obviously you've got the shorter length and the lighter swing weight, but you've got a full driver size head. I probably should have got the full details on this, but you sort of sprung this on me a bit. I'm pretty confident it's a 460cc head. It's like a proper full size driver head, but it's got 16 degrees of loft. So
wow,
it's like a forward loft.
That's
if you like.
A huge amount of loft. Does it look?
You can see
it
because
as well?
The face is so deep. You can see so much face. So it gives you so much confidence at address that the ball's going to go straight up in the air. And a lot of the pro-am people that I play with that have slower swing speeds like hitting their driver because it's got a nice big head and the nice long shaft. I'm going to hit this the furthest. But depending on the conditions, quite often they don't hit it furthest and they would actually hit their 3-wood or whatever a little bit high because they need more launch. A lot of people don't have the speed to get something of 11, even 12 degrees airborne enough to reach a comfortable peak height and optimize carry. So my dad would be a classic example of this. His Wildcat would suit him down to the ground. He's getting older and his swing's slowing up a little bit and he punts it out there quite low in the right conditions when the ground's firm enough. He can get that running out to a nice total distance. But there's so many people that just don't achieve a high enough launch or a high enough peak height with driver to maximize any distance and get some good carry and carry some products. And like I said, people are often dropping down to 3-wood and 4-wood to try and get that kind of launch to give themselves a better flight and a bit more peak carry. But you're sacrificing distance in terms of potentially shaft length. I know this one's a little bit shorter, but it's still longer than a 3-wood would be. So you're sacrificing a few things then. You're sacrificing as well head size generally, because as we know, when you get down to 3 and 4-woods, they're a lot smaller than drivers. So you've got less surface area to hit, so you might be losing forgiveness. This thing's intriguing to me, and I'm only going on raw spec here, and I've hit it because I wanted to see what it felt like and sound, acoustics, feel, everything like that for my review. But it's almost a pointless exercise because I have to slow down to what feels to me like hitting a pitch shot to get anything.
You're not at full whack.
So I'm looking forward to putting this into the hands of a few people I know of a swing speed, certainly sub 95, 90 miles an hour, with driver and really seeing and measuring some distance. I think it could be a massive game changer. And I'm calling this now. By launch season next year, 2 or 3 other companies will have a 15, 16 degree driver.